Hello, everyone, and welcome to Impromptu Speaking. Up to this point, all of the speeches that we've discussed require development, require research, require great deals of organization and support. Now we're going to be moving on to impromptu speaking. And a bit of a misnomer, it is not a speech off the top of your head. Instead, it is still where there's still some time to prep, but it is very little time to prepare. It is still structured, it is still organized, it is still supported, but research no longer comes into the equation because we don't have time to research. So we're going to dive into what this type of speech is. There are many times that you will be called to speak to an audience with very little time to prepare. This is impromptu speaking. This can be in a class where a teacher asks you a question, a prompt, and as a result, you have to organize your ideas and support your claims with good delivery, which are all the three components of this type of speaking: organization, supporting material, and delivery. This can also be maybe an elevator pitch. The CEO or the boss of your boss says, "Hey, you know what? We're looking for this position. You seem like a right fit. What can you bring to this company?" And that you have zero time to prepare, but if you understand the fundamentals of impromptu speaking, you can communicate your ideas with organization, support, and delivery. This happens all the time, even in interviews. You don't know the exact questions that are going to be provided to you. So, are you unable to prepare? No. So, impromptu speaking still has opportunities for preparation, for organization, for support, but there is just very little time to prepare, and adapting to this reality of this type of speaking will allow us to translate a lot of these lessons that we learn about impromptu speaking into other forms of communication and other situations, in general, just outside of public speaking. So, your impromptu. You are going to be given three famous quotations. You're going to choose one and create a 3 to 4 minute presentation with only 3 minutes and 30 seconds to create the speech outline. In so doing, we are going to be practicing this over and over again before we develop our speech. That being said, this is a skill that needs to be developed. This is not something that will come immediately, but it is something that can be, again, developed. Some of the tips of this type of speech is to look for the advice or philosophy of this quotation, and then develop a position related to that philosophy, and then find examples from your own common knowledge to support your two main points. You could break up main points as two different sides of the same quotation, two different meanings of the same quotation, or you could even do the agreement of the quotation, why you agree with the quotation, and then why you also disagree with the quotation. And in so doing, you're developing multiple points. You are still developing two main points. You're still having an introduction and a conclusion, but you are organizing your ideas around a common topic. So the biggest mistake of impromptu speeches lies with rambling. So, how do we avoid rambling? We do it through organization. As I've said, organization is a key component to the impromptu speech because we may not know exactly what we're talking about. But organization not only makes things clearer for the audience, it also makes it clearer for ourselves. So by jotting a few notes on a note card in this organization, that can help us improve the quality of not only our clarity with them, but our clarity for ourselves. It has an an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. The introduction should have an attention grabber, your topic or the opinion on the quotation, and then a preview statement, your 2 main points. You're then going to write a body, a main point with 2 supports, a second main point with 2 supports, and then in the conclusion, separated by a transition. The transition should be fairly familiar. I've just talked about this, now I'm going to talk about this. And then lastly, review your topic, restatement of the main points. So you review the topic, review the main points, and then you end with a concluding thought. Hopefully that ties back to the attention grabber. So, how many pieces of information are you creating? 2 main points, two supports per main point. So that's 2, 4, 6. 6 ideas. Can you come up with 6 ideas? You know what? The topic as well. So that's 7. 7 ideas. Can you come up with 7 ideas in 3 minutes and 30 seconds? I think you can too. Beyond that, if you're able to, you can also add in an attention grabber and a concluding thought. That's 9 distinct ideas. This is very doable, but we have to be able to organize our thoughts clearly, and that will make it easier for us to develop these very quickly. The one that's the most challenging of the things to create is the supporting material. Usually you have time to research and build ethos through carefully chosen support citation. However, in impromptu speeches, we do not have this option. So we are limited to our common knowledge. What is our common knowledge? These are the books we've read, the movies we've seen, biographies, stories, articles, music, current events, personal stories, anything we can think of. So if your quote is something about, I don't know, about how we always have to push through challenge. Are there biographies of people who have pushed through challenge? Are there situations maybe where you have pushed through challenge? A thing to keep in mind is that yes, you can sometimes use personal stories, but I would recommend against it because it's a lot more impactful to have things that are relevant to the audience, and personal stories in this scenario are not very relevant to the audience, and by having only personal stories, it is not relatable at all. So we want to be sure that we are inventorying our knowledge so that we are better able to recall it. We will talk about how to do an inventory of knowledge in the class, but in general, we want to be sure that we are drawing on our common knowledge. Also, so think about movies and themes regarding an inventory of knowledge, as well as understand and be up to date on current events and their impacts. By keeping up to date with information, it calls on more supporting material for discussion. This relates as well to your job interviews, to getting called in class, to those other non-public speaking situations. Because when we have more knowledge, we have more supporting material to support our ideas. Last, we have delivery tips. Some delivery tips are to seem confident. This means maintaining eye contact, speak slowly, control your body language, and smile. Again, what is believed more, the verbal or the nonverbal communication? The nonverbal communication every time, so we want to seem confident. Easier said than done sometimes, but we want to try. Also create a sense of fluency. Slow down and think about what you're going to say before you say it, and be aware of filler words that can help make it smooth throughout the speech. Slowing down is a good way of doing that, but obviously we shouldn't be too slow. And then be succinct and to the point. Once you've made your point, finish it. The thing is that what can sometimes happen is the toilet bowl, where we are going around the point and around the point until we finally get to the point. Instead, get to the point, like the main point, support your idea, and then move on. If you feel like you're repeating yourself, then just finish up. Reiterate and conclude. So when preparing the speech, you should know the topic and your opinion. In general, this should only take a split second to find your point, because there's a lot of things to get to. Choose your organizational structure. We have 2 main points, 2 supports per main point. By even already writing out the outlining structure on your note card, have that all ready to go. That can be invaluable, because all you have to do is just jot in the last few things. Then review knowledge of concrete examples, facts, and reasoning to support each main point. Develop an attention device and quickly jot down a quick outline. You should always jot down a speaking outline, because a formal outline where you write down every word you're going to say is only going to waste time, and that you won't be as effective. Whereas if you jot down a speaking outline, again, a presentation or speaking outline is where you have keywords or small phrases. This will help you recall the information that you're discussing so that you are better able to communicate it authentically and off the top of your head. You don't know the exact words you're going to say, but you know the general ideas of what you're going to mention. That concludes Impromptu Speaking. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time.